Welcome to the presentation of Team MXUB 014017. We're here to deal with the case The Budget Conundrum. Kim has been notified about a new product which came out of development and she has to recommend the best solution in the annual budget meeting. We have found the following insights from the case. The new product which came out of development is Excelsior. It's a highly innovative product with extremely high growth potential. But this innovative product requires a technology change, so Kim's farm must change their existing supplier for Excelsior. During the product's early life cycle, marketing would heavily promote Excelsior to establish consumer awareness about the new launch. A heavy promotion will generate greater demand in the launching phase. To adjust with this spike in demand, manufacturing department will produce Excelsior at a high rate during the first 6 months. Afterwards, they will slightly slow down the rate of production. Since Excelsior is a new product, the sales department is unsure about the product's demand forecast. After analyzing the crucial points, we have summed up the following problems Kim's Farm faces in launching of Excelsior. First of all, company faces a sourcing challenge where they require a new supplier for Excelsior. Well, finding reliable supplier is challenging in itself, and the risk of credibility of new supplier remains, such as whether quality will be maintained or not, or on-time delivery will be given or not. The maximum critical resource available is 7,200 minutes per day. It's a challenge for the company to allocate this limited critical resource load time among all the products and also maximize profit at the same time. Furthermore, there are concerns about how the launch of Excelsior would affect the existing products, which may face a loss. In that case, overall profitability would be dragged down. Sales and marketing department could not provide accurate demand forecast, and they have given us a range of demand of pessimistic, most likely, and optimistic. This demand variation makes it very difficult for the operation and production department to plan accordingly. Also, there are risks of excess inventory or shortage of inventory due to the demand variation. So that leads to our core issue of finding an optimized sales and operation plan for our new product Excelsior. The strategic fit must consider all the associated problems of the launch.
Now that our core issue is to optimize our overall operations and planning for the new product, we have found three alternatives that can help us solve that issue. The first alternative being continuation of all the products alongside the new product Excelsior. Although introducing this product does not change operating plans or does not affect the business with delays, what it will do is it will exercise the company's storage capacity due to the redundant products and greater outsourcing costs. Moving on to our next alternative, which is utilizing maximum in house capacity without outsourcing any of the products. The primary benefit here is that the company will not incur any outsourcing costs, minimizing chances of loss. But the cost of this benefit is that the company will lose a huge opportunity of ever meeting the pessimistic demands. Finally, we move on to our third alternative, which is stopping the production of Sedalia and allocating that extra capacity among the other products. Now, Sedalia is a dying product, and after its removal, more resources can be allocated for Excelsior. The company can finally meet the forecasted demands and use that extra resource to generate revenue. The only cons that this alternative has is that the outsourcing might reduce profit margin in return for brand positioning. Now that we have our three alternatives, we have to pick one of them right. So what we decided to go with was alternative number three, because stopping the production of Sedalia, which is the sunset product, the company gets to use that extra bit of resource on Early, Osage, and Excelsior. These products have a better growth potential compared to Sedalia and also helps the company to achieve their minimum sales goals.
So, now that we know we are not going to produce Sedalia anymore, we made our solution, that is a full-fledged budget excluding Sedalia. Firstly, we have the numbers of focus demands, which is divided into three criteria, right? Pessimistic, most likely, and optimistic. Now, to get a flawless picture of the whole scenario, what we are going to do is to look into each and every focus demand individually. Firstly, pessimistic demand forecast. The probable pessimistic demands for Arely, Osage, and Excelsior are 125, 60, and 180 respectively. From the given data, we can easily calculate the total cost and sales price. But the cost doesn't end just here. Due to the fact that we have constrained up 200 pallets in the warehouse, we have to outsource the remaining 165 pallets, which ultimately leads to an extra cost of $4,950 each unit, being $30. From these, we can calculate the total profit of $6,100 if we aim for pessimistic demand forecast. Moving on, just the way we calculated the pessimistic demand forecast, we did the same for most likely and optimistic demand forecast. For most likely demand, the outsourced amount of unit is 225, which is equivalent to $6,750 to be exact. Supplying as per most likely demand, the profit would be $6,250. We did the same thing finally for the optimistic demand forecast too. Now, as you focus on the whole situation, you will see a drop of profit in the optimistic section. That is because of increased amount of outsourced cost. But does it explain everything? We are talking about producing 365, 425 or 610 pallets of products as per demand. But is Kim's company capable enough to do that? Let's look into something else now. Now we have 5 machines each running 24 hours a day, in total 7,200 minutes. This means Kim's company's machines run 216,000 minutes per month. Now, with the help of given lead time and critical resource load per minute, we calculated the number of minutes required to produce each pallet of all the 3 products, which is 720, 504 and 240 products respectively for Arely, Osage and Excelsior. From that, we can easily calculate the required minutes to fulfill the monthly pessimistic, most likely or optimistic demand forecast. In the case of pessimistic and most likely demands, it's actually not a problem though. But for the case of optimistic demand, the company is short of 55,440 minutes of production, which will require 2 extra machines to cover for. Hence, in no way Kim's company will be able to fulfill the future optimistic demand forecast until or unless extra machines are brought into the company.
Now coming to the recommendation part. We have divided the recommendation section into 2 parts, which are short term and long term. In the short term section, the recommendations we have are: number 1, make to stock manufacturing strategy with mass production. This strategy includes product manufactured according to forecasted demand. This is the push strategy. Small batch supply would be performed by pull strategies such as QR, quick response, VMI, vendor managed inventory, and continuous replenishment program for successful supply chain management. We will also continue to develop more accurate forecasting techniques to determine safety stock properly and preventing excess inventory at any point. Number 2, choosing hybrid strategy. As we know, there are 3 production strategies named chase, level, and hybrid. We won't go with the chase strategy because since the demand forecast is uncertain, it reduces accuracy. An accurate demand forecast is a prerequisite for chase. We will not choose level strategy because as the demand is not constant, so it will not work. So we will combine the two and go with the hybrid strategy because it maintains the balance of agility and lean. Number 3 short-term recommendation that we have is choosing responsiveness over efficiency. Why so? Because as heavy promotion during the launch of Excelsior would generate greater demand, the company must have available products to supply. Also, new supplier might cause interruption in supply chain, and being responsive will mitigate that risk. Besides, the responsiveness is applicable for innovative products like Excelsior. By being responsive, we will be competitive, and the main driver of competitiveness is the reduction of market mediation cost resulted from the demand variation. Moving on to long-term recommendation, and we have 4 of them. Number 1, order new machines. As my previous teammate has already shown you with proper calculation that with the current 5 machines, we cannot aim for optimistic demand even if we remove Sedalia completely. So ordering new machines is essential and it will take 9 to 12 months. Number two, finding new suppliers. We need to find a new supplier in the long run and select the supplier by using supplier scoring assessment and auctioning if necessary. Proper negotiations should be done while doing so that things are in our favor. Number three, increasing warehouse storage capacity. Major drawback we have right now is the lack of storage capacity. In the long run, by increasing capacity, we will no longer need outsourcing, which will reduce costs and ultimately result into larger profit margin. And finally, number four, increase price in the future. In order to cope with the increasing cost, the price of the Excel share can be increased by balancing with the demand and by consulting with the marketing department, and if it turns out to be a successful product in the future. Coming to the contingencies, we know that in business, some situations might arise that even the best of the best strategies cannot solve. So we have tried to come up with some situations and try to solve them. For example, if we cannot find a reliable supplier, we know that in the supply chain process, supplier is a very crucial issue. So if we cannot find a reliable supplier, then it will cause a lot of problems in terms of supplying raw materials. So what we will try to do then is create a good relation with the existing supplier and ensure loyalty from that supplier. Another situation might arise where increase of per unit sourcing cost can happen. In this case, we will increase the warehouse capacity so that we don't need to outsource, and we will also aim at meeting the pessimistic demand figures to minimize the loss. And then there is another situation where the machine costs are higher. We will aim at optimistic demand figures to increase the revenue and recover the costs in the process. Another situation might arise where the maintenance cost is higher due to declining demand. In this case, what we need to do is we can actually rent our increased capacity and our new machines to other companies in order to reduce the loss. Now we will show you how our solution covers all the 6 drivers of the supply chain. Facility. The current constraints of critical resource and lead time will be met by the production planning. Besides this, new machines will be ordered which would increase the capacity in future. Inventory. We will be storing 200 pallets in our warehouse and outsource the rest 165 pallets. Sourcing. We will scrutinize the suppliers through supplier scoring assessment. Pricing. The prices would be increased in the future if necessary, or else the existing prices would be maintained. Information. There is this information gap that exists between the sales and the production department. We will be needing more accurate demand forecasting to come up with a better operation planning. Transportation. The facilities which we will be choosing for outsourcing will be near to our facility to reduce the transportation cost. To sum up, we see that our strategy solves all the current problems and has the potential to deal with the future problems that may arise. Our strategy ensures profit even if the pessimistic demand is targeted, and our recommendation solves the problems permanently. The strategy encompasses around the 6 drivers of supply chain and aims to attain the strategic fit. So we think Kim will implement our strategy and bring success to our company. Thank you.